Great. I hope everybody's okay with us recording today. Our hope is to share this information with folks who can't be with us. So welcome everybody. I'm Alice Bridges and I'm pleased to welcome you to SuperCharge your membership. I am the District 6710 membership chair and member of the Rotary Club of Louisville. And really happy to be with y'all today to talk about membership. My co-host is Travis Keller, who is vice chair of membership for District 6710 and a member of the Bowling Green Club. And then we have some other special guests we'll introduce as we go along today. So Travis and I were asked, like everybody, to choose a superhero persona for the theme today. And for me, I chose the Green Arrow. I'll be honest with you all, I don't know anything about superheroes and that whole genre. I know nothing. So I had to actually go do some research about it. And I chose the Green Arrow, apparently a lesser known Marvel hero, but one that's committed to being a warrior for social justice. And that's a passion of mine. And for our session today, we're hoping that we can pull a few arrows from our quiver and help you get some new resources to help you succeed in membership for your club. Travis, you want to tell a little bit about your persona?
You bet. Hello, everybody. I chose Batman. I've always liked Batman because he's 100% human, just like the rest of us. He's a superhero with no superpowers. He's a capitalist who has witnessed injustice, and he fights evil and corruption so that regular folks just like you and me can live together in peace. And so that's what I strive to do with my life. So we're pleased to extend a special welcome also to Keith Keys and the Lexington Club. Keith serves as Assistant Rotary Coordinator for 3 districts, including our own. So Keith, AKA Iron Man, please say hello and tell us about your current role and your superpower.
Well, thank you, Travis and Alice, for having me here today. And mine is Iron Man, and Iron Man actually wears a suit that gives him the ability to do marvelous things. And so since I really have no superhero strengths or characteristics, I need that suit to put on to perform whatever task needs to be done and completed. But thank you for allowing me to be here today.
Thank you for being here, Keith. Glad that you're here. This year's theme is Rotary Opens Opportunities, as you see the screen here in front of you. And you, I guess, as membership chair of your club, or some of you are just active members. I say just active members. You are very valuable active members of your club. You want to see your club grow. You can build the doors. You have the opportunity here to build doors for people to walk through so they can come together with the goal of creating unity and creating an opportunity where lasting change can be made in our communities and around the world. So here's how we're going to do it. Together, all the clubs in our district are asked to use a simple but powerful strategy that we believe will accomplish a couple of things. Number one, we believe that this strategy that we're going to go over will attract new members to your club. And number two, we believe that it will help to engage new and existing Rotarians. The goal here is not to just add people, but to expand your reach and to enhance the engagement of your club and your communities, and by partnering with other clubs in our district to accomplish some incredible good around the world. And that's what superheroes do. If 2020 has taught us anything, we've seen that it's easier to be pulled apart than it is to come together. And so it's critical that we learn to adapt to a rapidly changing world. We've got to focus on our common desires to make a difference and to invite other like-minded people to join our cause. The result will be more opportunities to increase our impact, which is why we're Rotarians in the first place. We want to make a difference. And as your numbers grow through this strategy, you're going to see the size of the positive impact that you have on your community also grow. And that's why we're focused on strengthening membership today.
Mm-hmm.
So why do people join Rotary? Well, we're going to focus just for a few minutes on ways that you can supercharge your club's membership and achieve these goals. Let's start off by looking at why people join Rotary. Rotary International for years has been very interested to find out why do people become Rotarians? Why do they stay? Why do they leave? And so those statistics and the reasons, the feedback that they've gotten from that study has been very, very useful for clubs that are focused on growing. You see here on the slide some reasons that people have given for why do they join Rotary. Well, they want to participate in local service projects and international service projects. And they're also interested in personal development and training opportunities. And I also want to add here, before we move on to the next slide, another study that's out there of why do people 40 and under join Rotary? Why do people, the young professionals, what draws them to Rotary? And it's very interesting that the number one reason that 40 and under individuals join Rotary is because they want to find an environment where they can be mentored, where they can grow as leaders, a safe place where they can come, they can fail, they can be helped up and encouraged, so that when they do go outside of the safe confines of Rotary, and yes, our clubs are supposed to be safe confines, that when they do leave that environment, that they can then go out and truly make a difference as a Rotarian. So the number one reason that they join is to be influenced by people like you and me. But why do they stay? So we understand why they join, but why do they stay? Well, the three things that Rotarians value most are community service, networking, and friendship, especially with people outside of their circle of work or social contacts. And that makes sense. They join Rotary because they want to make a difference. And they understand that if there's a team of people working together, that they can accomplish more. And then naturally, they're drawn to those people that want to do what they want to do as well. Well, there is a dark side of the coin, though, and that is that not everybody who joins, not everyone who was at first attracted to Rotary, not everyone stays. And so it's important that we understand why do people leave? And that happens. And you know, you've probably heard all the excuses like I have, but I think it's a very important reason because it sheds light on perhaps maybe some areas of our club that we need to improve. So why do people leave Rotary? What do you think? Well, here are the results right here. 31% said that it was either too expensive or that it took too much time. Mm-hmm. 21% said that they didn't like the club environment. Ouch. And 15% said that it did not meet their expectations. Those are the main reasons. And so, you know, interesting here is that 43% of former members said that they would not even recommend their club, their former club, and 35 wouldn't even recommend Rotary at all. So I think it's safe to say here, we can do better than that. And this isn't my club, and hopefully it's not your club, but we can do better than that. And we can make sure that Rotary is relevant and worthwhile to its members and to the communities that they serve.
So we want to talk today about strategies about how to use that information to attract and engage members. And let's just acknowledge we have probably new reasons that people leave or join Rotary that might have the initials COVID-19. So we're trying to increase our impact during a pandemic. And we'll just say that Rotary is more important and relevant than ever. And that's a big part of our message and what we hope to stress with all our work together. So in District 6710, we have a wonderful plan that's built around attraction and engagement and providing club members, chairs, and others the resources to do this attraction and engagement. It's a really simple approach, easy to understand, easy to implement. It's built on every club having 3 attraction, and 3 engagement strategies that they adopt. So let's talk about that a little bit. Membership chairs, or people, as Travis mentioned, who are just interested in growing your club's membership, do need to have some structure around that. So every club should have a membership committee, and we're really urging people to be sure that committee is populated with the diversity that is in your community. So build a bigger Rotary tent and think about, you know, if you want to bring young people, if you're interested in racial diversity, make sure that you've got that represented within this membership committee. We have a wonderful resource tool, and in just a little bit, I'm going to put a link to it in the chat, and then you'll also have it available to you after the session today. That is chock full of attraction strategies and engagement strategies. And we just updated it so that it includes a lot of tools and resources related to how to operate in a virtual environment when you can't be together like we were in the old days before March 1st of 2020. It's a great thought starter though. So, and we're gonna hear a little bit later today from a club president-elect who's come up with some really cool strategies that aren't in this thought starter document at all, but it is designed to help you and your membership committee think about ways that you could attract and engage new people, engage current members. And because a goal without a plan is really just a wish, the crucial next step is for each club's membership committee to put those strategies into an action plan. It's not real complex. We've got a template that can be used, a one-pager that you can use to fill it out and put those strategies to paper. And then you'll want to monitor that success and report outcomes. And again, the action plan kind of helps set you up for success with that. Here's a picture of what the action plan looks like. As I said, it's a pretty simple template, and everybody will get one of these, as well as an example of a completed plan. So the beauty of these is that they really ensure that someone's accountable for meeting the goal, and that there's a timeline that you've put to actually achieving it. Now, some of you folks on the call may already be familiar with this. Your club may already have implemented this 3 and 3 strategy last year. And then for others, this could be like completely new information. But no matter what, we do want you to be thinking about your past membership efforts. Talk with the committee, talk with your board candidly about what worked and what didn't. And then importantly for Travis and I, and for Joanne Hepperman, our district president, is that the goals that you select, the 3 attraction and 3 engagement strategies, get logged into DACDB. That way we across the district can look at what's working and what isn't, and make sure that everybody is actually working our strategy. So for our district overall, we do have goals to grow membership this year, and they're based on the size of the club. So if a club, for example, had 20 members or less, we're looking for them to try to increase membership by a net of 1. So you might have 3 people leave, but we hope you at least have 4 people join, and so forth. And to put our money where our mouth is, we've set up an attraction challenge. So we know that people in Rotary are hard chargers and like to succeed. So we think a little competition will go a long way. So the attraction challenge is based on those membership growth numbers that we talked about. It is focused on the attraction side of the equation that we've talked about, and adding net new people to Rotary. That doesn't in any way negate the importance of the engagement and retention side. The attraction challenge really rewards adding new people to Rotary. You know, we can't engage them if we don't get people through those open doors of opportunities. So Travis, you want to share a little bit about how the attraction challenge works?
Absolutely, you bet. The attraction challenge places each Rotary Club into a division that's based on its size. And so as you can see from this chart, each time that you achieve the milestone of adding new members, your club is entered into a chance to win. And at District Conference 2021, one club's name is going to be drawn from each division to win $250 to be put towards a service project of its choice. But wait, as they say, there's more. Additionally, the president of each winning club and the assistant governor responsible for that club will each earn a Paul Harris Fellowship. We'll send you the flyer with all the details following the session, but there is one caveat. In order for your club to win, and in order for that club's president and that district assistant governor to win the Paul Harris Fellowship, someone from that club must be present at the conference to win.
Very good. Okay,
Alex?
so how are we doing so far? Here's the leaderboard through July 30. You can see that in Division 1, Brandenburg and Lawrenceburg are in the top division, and 2, Prospect Goshen. Division 3, Henderson, Mayfield, and South Oldham, and Division 4, Louisville, which has added a net of 3. So the results we're tracking and reporting every month in the district's e-newsletter, which is the Spectrum. So we really urge you, if you haven't been reading the Spectrum, everybody gets it electronically. It comes at the beginning of every month. Check it out and see where your club stands. And there's a lot of other information in the Spectrum that will help you and your club. So I mentioned earlier a special guest, and so I want to introduce Jennifer Andrews, who's president of the Rotary Club of Henderson, which I think I just said is one of those leaders on that leaderboard. I had the opportunity to talk to Jennifer a few weeks ago about the initiatives that her club has put into place. And we thought one of the best things we could do today would be share ideas about what's working. So without further ado, I want to introduce Jennifer and let her talk a little bit about some of the innovative things that the Henderson Club has implemented to both attract and engage members. Jennifer?
Sure. Thanks so much, Alice. I appreciate y'all having me today. And I should say that I think we're on the list for having some new members because Alex Cottle's our new membership chair. He's on with us today and he's just doing a great job just picking right up and moving right along with recruiting new members. So we're excited to have Alex as part of the team. And I think that that's really kind of my first big point that Alice, that I think that plan that you outlined earlier for everybody, you know, it really works. And what really works is forming that committee. So we have some fun ideas to share, but I can just honestly say those are not my ideas. So I think my skills are in an organizational area, and I certainly know that there are people who are a lot more creative than I am. So I think getting that committee, getting a good, like you said, diverse group, different ages, and kind of representative of your community in that group is really helpful. So I will tell you, last year, that's what we did. We formed a committee, not too big, you know, a handful of people. And then the first thing we did was used some of the tools that were provided by Rotary, and we sent out, we did a Survey Monkey using the Rotary provided questions for membership survey. And I thought that was an important step for us. We really wanted to see where we were at and get feedback from our club about how we were doing and how we could improve. So we took some of those steps, and then we talked about our attraction and engagement strategies. And we knew then and what we especially know now in the COVID era is that social media, we think, is really key. That's how we reach a lot of people in terms of recruiting members and engaging our current members. You know, we hope that most of our members who are on social media follow our pages, and we've tried to expand those platforms. We're using Instagram and YouTube and everything we can think of. We send those links out every week in our sort of little weekly email newsletter. So one thing that we did was a live stream of a speaker on Facebook, as somebody that we knew that the people in the community would be interested in hearing from. So that was a really neat thing for us to kind of get our feet wet in the social media world, and really increases. We can see those numbers really working. We see how many new likes we have on our page and how many shares we have when we do things like that. So we've also just really tried to do some fun things with Facebook and social media. So one of those has just been, I think we've got a little picture here. We bought Rotary onesies. We have a lot of new young members of our club, and they've had babies. This is a sweet little new baby girl that joined us this year, and this is Rotarian Nick Witt's daughter, Briar Rose. And so we just got these onesies and sent them out and said, hey, send us a picture and we're going to put it on our Facebook page. So we thought this was a neat way to engage our current members and you know, kind of share this exciting news with our club, and also just let people see, you know, who we are as Rotarians and who the people are in the community. And you know, we've done some little hashtags there and called little Briar Rose a future Rotarian. So that was a fun thing that we've just started, and we hope to have some more pictures like that coming soon. We've sent out a few lately. And then you know, we've really tried to engage with current members, and especially some of our newer members, to let people in the club know who we are. We feel like this is especially important now when we're not in person. Our club is currently meeting by Zoom, as probably most people are. So this was one of the strategies that the membership committee developed and Alex has taken away. So this was Alex's first post. This was Drew Austin, a member of our club. And so we have Drew's info. We send this out in a weekly email with some information. We put it on our Facebook page, and then these members are featured and they talk through some of their information and background at our weekly meetings on Zoom. So that's been really fun. We've done a handful of those right now, and just huge, like I said, kudos to Alex for really taking that away and getting people involved that way. So just a few things we're really trying to do on social media, and I think those things are all exciting. And then just really, I think I'll just say what we have found, especially in the COVID era, one thing for membership for us that we've done, we've kind of had what we think is a little flashy on social media, but also just to keep things really simple. When COVID hit and we all were kind of trying to figure out what to do, the membership committee got together by Zoom, and we thought, how can we just keep this simple? What can we do? So I think one thing for membership that it can really be just as simple. And I think, Travis, you know, you spoke to these statistics about Rotarians liking the friendship and fellowship they get. So we formed a little Rotary Cares and Concerns subcommittee. We used DACDB, made a list of our members, we split that up, and we just started calling people. And we just said, how are you doing? You know, can we get you, does anybody need groceries? We knew that all of those things were floating out there, that people didn't want to go to the grocery store. They couldn't if they were, especially in a high risk population. So we just tried to connect Rotarians that way and really reach out to people and say, you know, what can we do? How do you like the meetings? And that's been really helpful for us. You know, we heard some people who said, I don't maybe have time to watch that meeting right now on Zoom at lunch because I need to go do something, but I'd like to watch it later. So we made a YouTube page and we started putting the programs up on YouTube. So that one-on-one contact is really invaluable. It seems so simple, but I think it's really powerful. Like I said, especially where we're at right now. So if you have those questions, I think one thing to do is just pick up the phone and reach out to your club, and you'll get some great feedback.
Thank you, Jennifer. You're just chock full of great ideas. That's so helpful. And like, who wouldn't love a onesie? I mean, that's just too cute. So.
Jennifer, one thing that I noticed that you said that I really liked is that everything is duplicatable. You know, the things that you covered there are obviously working for your club, and it's something that would work for my club and for every other club that is being represented on this call. So thank you for sharing that. You know, in a time of a pandemic, I think it's easy for us to kind of throw our hands up and say, well, the natural course of Rotary is to kind of take a step back a little bit because people can't come together. But what you're showing us is that your club is growing. And it's not the only one in our district. We have so many clubs that are growing. And so if there's someone on this call that's kind of thinking, trying to decide, you know, what side of the coin do they want to be on, let's be on the side of the coin that says we're going to take advantage of this pandemic. We're going to grow. And let's all admit that there are people right now who are sick and tired of the negativity, and they are looking for an opportunity to come together with other like-minded people who want to make a difference and to let their light shine. And that's what Rotary does. And I know everyone on this call feels that same way. And I just want to encourage you to find those people in your community who are just like you, because now more than ever, they're letting their light shine, be it on social media or elsewhere. You can find those people easier now than ever, and just go to them and say, hey, listen, I think you'd be interested in what we're doing as a group over here. We're trying to make a difference in our community. So thank you, Jennifer. Really, really appreciate what you had to say. One other resource that we want to let you know about, former District Governor Michael Owsley, the infamous, the famous Michael Owsley of Elizabethtown. He's a member of our district membership team, and he is laser focused on helping to get new clubs and innovative club models started. You know, the historical standard of coming together at a certain time is not really what every Rotary club is going to look like going forward. And so Michael has some information about that he wants to share with us. And so I want to give him the spotlight right now to share with us what he's doing to help lead these efforts. Michael?
Thank you, Travis. I think I heard on a movie one time that infamous means more than famous, right? Isn't that what they said one time? So now Bill wanted me to wear my Captain America hat. It's my son's. It doesn't fit all that well, but you know, it was there. So part of the superhero thing was my fault. When she asked me about doing a presentation here, I responded back to her with the district assemble thing, like the Avengers assemble. And next thing I know, here we are. So, you know, as Travis said, one of the things that I've talked to my club about was the now more than ever. That line, I think, is one that I think is really important, because now more than ever, we're seeing the importance of that connection and how important it is. I think for the last several years, we've thought that we could unplug, you know, from that personal connection. And now what we're seeing is that now more than ever, it's important to have personal connection people are seeing. And what I want to talk about was new and innovative clubs. Now, part of this, we talk about it, may not necessarily apply to the club, but some of them do. But the goal is to grow Rotary, to get out there and so we can do more. And even if they aren't necessarily affiliated directly with your club, the concept of putting together something where people can come together and be part of Rotary and be connected, and just maybe not meeting every Tuesday at noon for some chicken, may not be something that's there. So there's a few different ways of looking at it. A lot of Rotary focuses on going for younger people. You know, I had a chance to sit in on a breakout earlier talking about youth service with Rotaract and some of those other things, and those are great opportunities. You know, you heard earlier today Evan Burrell talk about his coffee club that meets a couple times, you know, every other Sunday or so and gets together for coffee, things like that. Or, you know, you hear about other clubs that are there's a great one down in Franklin, Tennessee, that's getting together in the evenings for drinks. And they have well over 100 members. And if I'm not mistaken, I think something like 70% of them are couples, husbands and wives, or other partners that get together that are part of that one club. And so they have some of those. You know, another one that we're looking to explore a little bit here in Elizabethtown, that I'm stealing this idea from a district in Indiana. This district governor in Indiana is looking at starting a club, specifically what's called a satellite club. Satellite club is still part of the parent club, but meets separately, kind of does their own thing. And so the satellite club they were talking about doing was at an assisted living facility. And I thought, you know, we've got some great assisted living facilities here in Elizabethtown. And that's something that we're exploring, is looking at, could we partner with the activities director at an assisted living facility where people are already getting together, having lunch. They've got those things there. They like to get together and socialize. And a satellite club can be as few as 8 members. And I thought, surely at this neat community that they've started developing here in Elizabethtown, there are 8 people who would like to get together, socialize, and then every so often do some good service projects in and around their community while being plugged in with our club. And so that's the satellite club example specifically actually does come back a little bit because, as I said, in that example of a club model, they are part of that parent club. And so they would actually be members of the Rotary Club of Elizabethtown, but they would just meet separately as a separate entity. And so we have looked at doing that. We've also looked at other membership types for ours. We've talked to Alice about the corporate membership that the Louisville Rotary Club has done. And so we've been looking at adding that. So we've really kind of looked at some different ways that we could do that. And so as we look at some of these clubs and where they are, they may meet differently. They may be doing different things, but there are ways to still engage our members. And another example of that that we're looking at is there's a passport club here in the district now. There is a group of people that they were no longer able to meet with at a regular time with their club at a physical location. And so they started getting together basically virtually. And so they've been doing basically what we're doing today, been doing it regularly with that group there. And so they're doing that as an online club. And so there are members of your club that are maybe falling aside and not able to engage as much and may still be wanting to be plugged in with Rotary. That's something that our district has that can keep them engaged, because that is one of the sad things is Travis was talking about reasons people leave. If we could find a way to keep them involved with Rotary and in, and maybe if it's not even a member of your club but still attached to Rotary, well then later on they would still have a good positive experience with Rotary and be able to perhaps at least refer back some with you there too. So there are a lot of different ways to look at it, and Rotary has given us that flexibility now. We've changed it to where you don't have to be there every week and do these things. You can have other touch points to get in and get engaged, and those are opportunities that we need to take a look at. We have to think about doing Rotary a little bit differently. And I think that's something that we can all look at. And so certainly you can see on the screen, Alice has my contact information, both via email and my phone. You can call or text if you have any questions, or if I can be of service to you. Be happy to sit and talk, or if you have any questions, take some.
Older people, he's 75 and above.
Okay. Well, my computer has locked up. Let's see. There we go. Let's stop our screen share. And really what we wanted to do, which we've succeeded, was to make sure we had plenty of time to throw it open and let this group ask questions or share a good idea that you might have that's working for your club. So I'm going to just pause and say, what do you think? Do you have questions? What would you like to talk more about? Don't be
Alice, I'll ask you one. So do it. So I know that Rotary Club Louisville is still meeting virtually, and I saw that you all were on the list for membership growth. How are you all engaging and finding that growth there? What are those members? How are those new members getting connected with your club?
Well, the virtual meetings have been, they're not as well attended as the live meetings, but they have been very well attended. And depending on the speaker, the numbers go up and down. We had our superintendent of our school system this past week, and it was a really high attendance. Our membership chairs have also implemented a really interesting virtual gathering. We previously had what we call business synergy, sort of evening networking events. Our club meets normally on Thursdays at lunch, but we had these evening kind of after work cocktails and business gatherings to network. They've turned those into virtual events, and they're doing them on Zoom and bringing an expert in to talk about an interesting topic and then facilitate conversation among the group And so, you know, smaller groups where you have more opportunity for interaction with each other. And we've continued to encourage people to bring a guest to those. So it's an easy entry point into meeting other people, keeping your social connections and learning something too.
I'm at the, this is Terry Chambers. I'm with the Prospect Ocean Club, and we actually had an opposite reaction when we went virtual, which we did immediately as soon as things were shut down. We actually probably had a 30% increase in attendance. For whatever reason, not real sure, but we have a 93-year-old who knows how to get on Zoom, has no problem with getting on Zoom. So, and we have, our youngest is 20. So we've got a broad spectrum of members, but we've had an increase of, we've had 6 people join our club this year so far. So it has helped us tremendously to, I think, to be able to offer this alternative. We're getting ready probably in October to try to go back live, and we will continue to do Zoom for those people who want to do that. And I just think this whole thing with Zoom and virtual meetings is a real opportunity for people to join us. We have a 7 o'clock meeting in the mornings, a breakfast. And so, you know, our biggest thing is nobody wants to get out of bed that early to join Rotary. So that's our biggest, I think, conflict that we have. But getting these Zoom meetings has been just a real boon for us.
What about others?
Alice, I see a couple questions in the chat box.
Oh, good. Okay, go ahead. Would you mind facilitating those? I'm trying to put the handouts in there.
Sure, absolutely. So Ralph was asking, how many clubs have a reduced fee schedule for younger members? Does anybody on the call have experience with that with their clubs?
How many what? I didn't hear it.
Clubs that have a reduced fee schedule for younger members.
The Prospect Ocean Club actually had a program going for a while, and we don't do it any longer, but anyone under 35 did not have to pay for meals. And we had a few people in that category, and then they kind of outgrew it, and it kind of went away. Now that we're attracting even younger people, it may be something the board can look at to reinstitute. But they did pay their own dues.
Yeah, thank you. And then also had a question about doing a survey of what the members want. We did that several years ago in our club. I do know that we did survey the members to ask, you know, what are you looking for? What do you do? What you'll find a lot of times, you know, we got the predictable responses of, you know, the food was no good. Yeah, you get those. But we also had people telling us what is there, and it was very valuable. We were able to look at it and be able to make some targets, because I think for us, some of the answers were a little surprising when we realized, okay, there are people here that are looking for things other than what we were really expecting. So I think absolutely asking your members what they're there for is a great engagement strategy.
Jennifer, you all did that in your club. Did you use the tool that's available via Rotary International?
We did. We used the member satisfaction survey, and I plugged that in as a Survey Monkey tool. At that time when we did it, of course, we were still meeting in person, so we took paper copies to meetings, had a few people do it that way, and then I plugged those in so we could generate the results. And it was really helpful for us to see. It really covers a lot of things about cost, programming, service projects, and you know, club makeup and things like that. And we got some good feedback, and a lot of people who just wrote in direct comments, and that was very helpful for us. And that's what we really use to guide our attraction and engagement strategies as we started implementing some of those.
If you're not familiar with it, on Rotary.org, there's a whole membership section that is, again, chock full of resources like a sample membership survey, as well as, you know, tools you can use. Think of, it's got all the rubrics about new types of clubs. Really, anything you could think of is there. Keith, do you want to talk about your club and how you all sort of reinvented yourself in Lexington?
Yeah, I can do that. It's modeled somewhat after the club in Franklin, Tennessee, but we just started it right before COVID. We actually, it took us a 1 year process to get to where we are. We were a morning club meeting every Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. We were having a hard time uh, attracting new members, mainly because the people that we were attracting were younger and they had families and so forth. And so it was difficult. So we started to make the move maybe about a year and a half ago, really, to an evening club. And we started doing a social on the last Thursday night of every month. We started having more attendance at our social events than we did our club meetings on Tuesday mornings. And so after a while, we went ahead and made the decision to move to a evening club. We meet every other Wednesday night. We meet for an hour and a half. The first half hour is a happy half hour instead of a happy hour. And the club provides the drinks and hors d'oeuvres for the first half hour, and then everybody else goes on their own. And since that point, we've attracted 2 new members prior to one prior to COVID, one during COVID as well. And I think that too, I've heard many mention that being in COVID world and especially having Zoom, it really gives you an opportunity as a smaller club to increase the level of the speakers that you're having for your club. I know I work with a business communications coach out in Pasadena, California. We had him speaking to our club this past Wednesday night, and we sent it out to 1,550 people. We had 45 people on the call. So it is a great opportunity for us to reach out even during this time and to attract a higher quality speaker than our club would normally have.
If there's nothing else, this has given us all an opportunity to try something new. If I, would say anything, it's don't be afraid to try something different. And if it doesn't work, you don't have to keep doing it. But from different times to different membership levels, Michael talked about the corporate membership. Some clubs have a young professional membership level. Others have a couples membership where there's a break for the 2 people in the family. So there's a lot of things that you can try. And Travis and Michael and I are all available, as well as the universe of people here, to support each other in sharing our resources, our experience and ideas, so that we can try new things. Let's see, and I did put in the chat the 3 documents that we mentioned, the Engage handout and the template for your action plan, as well as the member challenge. And so Ralph Young says the Paducah clubs adopted a new schedule. Where are you, Ralph? You want to tell us about it? Just unmute yourself and tell us how it's gone.
Yeah, I wish I could. I can't remember the details, but it is a reduced rate for, I think, new members under 30 or 35. And we tried something else with the free meals for those new members. That seems to kind of be an icebreaker where somebody doesn't feel, up against the wall when they have to attend 3 meetings and say, oh, I have to support 3 lunches for a new member. So we've reduced that. But I think the new schedule, it's gone pretty well. I can't tell you how many new members we've gotten, maybe 2 or 3 in the last, that went into effect sometime earlier this year.
Has anyone else tried anything new that you'd like to share? No? Or tell us where you get those onesies.
You know, Dawn Kelsey, who's our immediate past president, ordered those, and I'm not sure where she ordered them from. I'm going to have to find out. But she that was her idea, and it's been really fun. I missed it. I had a baby about 2 years ago, so I'm kind of jealous I missed out on that.
Jennifer, do you all have someone who runs your social media for your club? That seems like a lot of responsibility.
We do. Dawn Kelsey has been our social media chair, and then Lori Tuggle, who's actually our sergeant at arms, helps with that, and also Alex Cottle has just taken on that as part of his role here as membership. And Alex is really good at helping us know how to tag people, and with these member spotlights, the places they work. And he had just told me, actually, on one of those we had 100 likes on the post. Once we tagged the bank that our member worked at, that grew to 200. So it's really powerful, and we're lucky to have people who keep up with that and know how to navigate it so well. It's been great.
Travis, how about in Bowling Green? How are things going for you all?
You know, I think things are going great. You know, it's with the COVID situation, I think we all kind of took a step back and took a deep breath and tried to see how we were going to react to this. But you know, as time goes on, we're finding that more of our members are, I believe, comfortable coming online. Although certainly most of us are looking forward to getting back to have some of that fried chicken that Michael was talking about, and hopefully that'll happen here real soon. But you know, get back to what we were talking about earlier. And let me say this before we run out of time. I want everyone to know that Alice put all these slides together, and this presentation that you saw today was her hard work. And I just want to recognize that and to say thank you to Alice for the time that you spent putting all that together. Very professional, very easy for those of us who were participating to jump in and just act like we had something to do with it. When truthfully it was all you, and I want everyone to know that. So thank you so much for the effort that you put to make this a good presentation. But the Bowling Green Club is doing great. You know, we are growing, and it's interesting to find, because as you go around town, and I know that everyone else's community is the same as ours, as you go to the grocery store, you know, you see some people that are absolutely gripped in fear, and you see other people that are the opposite of that. And I think that as we focus on what we do have in common, we don't need to focus on what we don't have in common, but what we do have in common. And that's what started Rotary in the first place. And I think that is the future for all of the successful clubs, is that they won't focus on what they don't have in common, but they'll focus on their common goal, which is to create change in their community, lasting change, good, solid involvement in their community. And there are now more than ever, I believe, more people in every one of our communities who are looking for Rotary. They just don't know it yet.
Well, they've given us the 1 minute countdown to go back to the big group. And I think we'll have a short break, and then another keynote presentation. And Michael, you have a presentation you're doing a little bit later today, right?
I do. I've got the emerging leaders section.
And what's that going to focus on? I mean, emerging leaders, but which
leaders emerging from the shadows. You know, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the opportunities for service here in the district, some opportunities to get in and be part of some areas of interest that you may have, and just kind of break down what it looks like at the district level outside the club, so you can find some things that you may be able to get plugged in on at a little bit of a bigger level if you're looking for that.
Awesome. Thank you all. Thanks to everybody for being here, and know that you're here to be a resource for you going forward.
Thank you, Alice.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alice.
Thank you.
Thank you.